Hey everybody, it's Jeff with Soaring Eagle Realty, and it is Wednesday, October 21st, and this is this week's 2 Minutes with Jeff. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on in the market and projections for next year. It's kind of been the same story over and over, and it seems to be the consensus of all the experts. I'm not an expert, but I do look at data. I do look at things that they use to make these predictions, and I have to agree with them. So Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, they put out their quarterly projections and report 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and they said that home prices will continue to grow throughout 2021, and they're projecting it to be about 17% annualized. Right now in Metro Detroit, based on real comps numbers, we're at 14.9%. So we're not at the national level, but we're pretty close. They also said that next year in 2022, they're expecting that number to slow down to 7%. So still going to see appreciation, still going to see houses going up in value, but just not at a high rate like we saw this year. And remember, if you watch my other videos, this is due to supply and demand. When there's not a lot of houses on the market for sale and there's a lot of buyers, that drives the prices up. Interest rates, they're actually right around 3% again, and that's probably where they're going to finish out the year. And next year, Freddie and Fannie are predicting that they probably climb up to about 3.5%. Which I saw another report not too long ago, I think last week, that said about maybe 3.75. So somewhere in that 3.5, 3.75, I think is probably where we'll be in 2022. That's still a very low number for mortgage rates. So they're going to have to go up because they're at an all-time low, still at an all-time low, and it's been like that for a very long time. So eventually they're going to have to go up. So I'm pretty sure, well, I'm not pretty sure, but I would be shocked if they didn't increase next year. And the experts, not me, because I'm not an expert, they're saying that the rates are going to go to about 3.5, 3.75. So that's what I got. And again, this is kind of the consensus of what everybody's predicting next year. So it's still a great time to buy. It's a great time to sell. Right now is a pretty decent time to buy because the competition is slowing down. There's not as many people out there looking, especially when it gets colder. The seasons start to change. So I'm actually picking up a lot of buyer clients right now, which is okay because their chances of getting an offer accepted right now is pretty good if it's a solid offer. Sellers, that doesn't mean it's a bad time for you. This year was crazy. Next year's still going to be good. They're still saying, a 7% increase in value. So if you're looking at sales in your neighborhood and you're seeing houses selling, comparable houses selling at a certain range or values, those are probably what you're going to be as a baseline next year when things start to heat up again, and probably a little more. So take a look at what's going on in your neighborhood, see what other houses are selling for, and that kind of gives you a pretty good idea. And I don't think that unless, and this is another thing I've been saying, unless something outside of real estate happens, like COVID or something crazy out of real estate control, that's the only thing that's going to slow down this market right now. It's the only thing. It's the only thing. There's too much supply and demand out there, or not enough supply, too much demand. That's driving prices up, and that's going to continue through next year. And so, that's a good thing, but we don't want to see the inflation and the prices get super crazy, because that's a bad thing. So kind of walking a little bit of a fine line. But if you're, like I said, if you're a seller, next year is going to be a good year too. So if you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to comment on the video, share your thoughts, and we will see you possibly next week with another video, if not the week after. All right, see ya.